Grab a seat, guys.
His wife doesn't allow him to turn the heat up. Look this.
I don't. I might. That's true. Grab a seat, guys.
My amplifier up in car, but nobody likes it, so I'm going to podium.
Oh, yeah. Yeah? Oh, yeah. Lots of seats over here, guys.
I'll sit in the front, like school. All the kids sit in the back.
The kids, all the bad kids sit in the back. That's right.
Looking at the title. All right, how many?
Meeting time, guys. Coffee up here.
Meeting.
Now you need my PA system.
What's that on? Got it right out of here. Yeah. Al, is this our speaker? Where'd Al go? Huh? Oh, I have no idea. It's on.
I heard rumors of a PA system. Now, where's Sal?
Right there.
Oh, what's that?
I don't know. I brought mine.
Well, I showed up since I went to the meeting. So.
Is that yours? Okay. We're rolling. All right. I want to welcome you guys all to the November meeting here, the NJARC at InfoAge at the Telephone Exchange Building. And welcome to our webcast viewers. Let's go over some old business. We don't have Alex here. I think we might have him on the internet, but the World of Worlds at Sarnoff Libraries. Can anybody talk about what we did there and how did it go? How many people were participants? Harry, you were a participant?
I was here.
You were here, right?
I came in the part of the second show because I had to work on the first show.
Yeah.
It seemed like it wasn't as big as a turnout as far as people coming in from the street to see the show.
Yeah, it was.
Yeah, and he's contemplating whether he's going to have it again next year or not.
Yeah. Do you think it's gone its course? Do you think maybe?
It might. Yeah.
So how many years has it been? Five.
That's the fourth time he did it.
Well, I think it was the 5th year, but we might have skipped one.
We did skip 1 year, so it's
Yeah.
4 times.
It was the 4th time. Either it's going to get revamped or it may be dropped for a year. It's sort of there's a bunch of things going on, not related to us.
Right. I mean, there was an issue of some heavy money going into trying to get the people off the street to pay it. Yeah.
You know, so we'll see what happens. I'm all for letting it go for a while too.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. And speaking of work, you guys did all the work on the sound, right? The original sound. What did you use, Al?
Well, we did not do sound effects.
Oh, you didn't. I thought you were going to.
But we set up vintage mics and we ran the board.
Right.
We ran the audio board, which was an improvement over what they were trying to do last year.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Did they have professionals?
Our part of it worked real well.
Did they have professionals again, or they didn't have professionals?
They had the 100 Theater Group again, and they're okay, but they, you know, it would be better if we could convince them to emulate what went on inside a radio studio rather than their stand-up company front at 17 microphones and read the flag.
Oh, I see.
Okay, and we were gonna go in and do the sound effects, but it turned out they were making diversions from the original script, so there was no way we were gonna be able to do that on short notice anyway. So
Oh, wow.
fine, play the sound effects off the computer and just do your thing.
Oh, that's surprising. I wouldn't expect them to.
It was all right, but it could be better. Their part of it could be better. You know, it could be a cooler thing, but again, it's a lot of work.
Yeah. Well, it's like you said, NJARC did their part. They helped out as best they could.
We supported
Yeah.
a success from that standpoint.
And it's up to Alex as to what he wants to do.
Wouldn't surprise me if it didn't happen next year.
Yeah. Okay, great. All right, but something we definitely had business in was the Haunted Hotel and the Mad Sciences. How did that work, Ray? How did that go?
Went very good.
Yeah? It's an improvement over the years? Oh, my. It wasn't blood and...
Did Phil forget to wear his Depends again?
That's not nice. That's not nice.
There's one person per night who thinks that that's not a real Tesla coil.
Oh, yeah? Yeah. That's good shocking moments. That's great. Okay. All right. We had open to the public repair clinic last month. Obviously, last October month was a very busy month for us. How did that go, Harry?
It went very well, except we had, how many people did we actually have there?
Open to the public.
Yeah, it was open to the public. We had some walk-ins, and we had about half a dozen to 8, I guess, scheduled. So, you know, it wasn't, we actually had a good, you know, people had a lot of time with their sets, and we did a lot of training people and things like that. In fact, I had somebody come up to me at the swap meeting for Parsippany and thank me again for kind of giving them some help. And
Oh, that's great. I mean,
so,
that's what it's
they
about.
remember us, right?
Yeah, that's what it's about. Now, how many civilians, I'll call them, off the street?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
I think we had 8 or so scheduled, and then we had some walk-ins. And
Okay.
Walt
All right.
thinks we had about 20, you think?
Yeah, I would say.
Oh, that's not bad at all, then.
It was nice, it was pleasant.
Yeah?
Yeah, it was quiet, I mean, we've had a few people come in, and I think everybody kind of had an interesting, fun time, you know.
Yeah.
It was a little bit, the setup was, you know, always the usual issue with tables and so on, getting things done, but I think everybody helped out, and it was just, overall, I think it was a success. It was well done.
Okay, great. How many fixers did we have, experts did we have?
Half a dozen,
Half a dozen?
at least.
Yeah? All right,
More
great.
radios went out working than came in.
That's what we want to hear.
The other way around. Sometimes.
Yeah, there's been those times, too. And there's been homework, too. I had to take them home, so, yeah.
He did mention we should, you know, schedule the next one. We haven't done that yet. So.
You know, you're right, and we didn't bring that up at the E-Board meeting. Yeah, yeah, so many things, right? All right, we'll discuss that, okay. All right, which brings us to our annual fall swap meet, okay? From my report would be that we had 52 tables sold. We had 6 no-shows. So had everyone been there and showed up, we'd have had our biggest we've ever had. At 52 tables, we were minus the 1 table that we were the largest. So I'm real happy about that. And the gate, I believe, was higher than we've had before, too.
We had 111 people pay to come in. Well, actually, 108 people. 3 had the little coupon that was in the newspaper.
A little coupon in the newspaper, yeah?
Yeah, there was a little coupon like about this big that said free admission.
How did that get there?
And literally, if they used a smaller font, you would have just thought it was nothing was on this
What
piece
was
of.
that in?
Oh, what paper?
With the local, the Daily Record, the local paper.
Yeah, I should have brought a sample over here. And
Yeah, it was a thumbnail.
Yeah,
It's very
literally,
true, yeah.
You know, they looked at the came this little newspaper. Here, I'm like, okay, go ahead. Go ahead. So anyway, we had 111 people, well, more than 111 walked in because a lot of the wives we didn't charge this time.
Yeah, of course, yeah, yeah.
You know, and the kids I never charged, they come with a family member, you know, so.
But at least those 3 walk-ins, they walked out with 3 consoles, so that was important, right?
Yeah, at least.
Yeah.
As far as, okay, I mean, I have all the numbers here from the swap.
Go ahead, give them.
Basically, okay, so with the walk-ins was $540, more or less, give or take. The door prize, well, we call it a door prize, but we auctioned off, not auction, we picked a number like a 50-50.
All right.
We have, what, about 10 prizes?
About 8.
8 prizes?
Yeah.
Anyway, we collected $66 on that. The 50-50, the pot was $75. The person who won gave the money back to the club.
Yes,
Again,
but,
the same guy
but, it's the same person named Ed.
who did it in our summer swap meet. He won, and he handed us the money.
He's-
So, and he buys $20 worth of tickets.
And Ed is a mystery man.
We don't know who he is.
He won't tell us his last name, what he does, anything.
Like a Bible story.
Literally, you know? And then you turn around, where is he? He's gone. Like,
Yeah.
You want that guy.
Yeah, he's a great guy, boy. Great guy.
He's part of Obama's team.
Just hope you don't get a call from the IRS.
That's
Yeah.
well, I'll just get Ed. But
Or he might be.
He might be.
so basically, we collected 150 on the 50-50. Table money, $980 that we counted in the diner.
Okay.
So our total expenses, was 1,700. I'm sorry, we collected $1,783. The room rental was $780, and the ARC was $262. 2 ads in the ARC
Right.
magazine. So we came out with like $740.
Yeah, which we're
So
very
we
happy
did
for
very
that.
good on that one.
Yeah, very good, yeah. Yeah.
And I would like to thank Dave. Where's Dave? For his excellent work on confusing the hell out of us.
It wasn't difficult.
No, it wasn't. I had 30 people. Give me these things. Give me that. Give me these things. And I'm like, oh, and I'm, how are we going to separate the two different? And then he came with a brainstorm. He'll just write down how many, what they paid, and then we just put all the money in one pot that we just took out. But it got a little confusing at the beginning.
But we again, we have to thank Dave, our
did a good job.
illustrious webmaster, for coming up with the idea of the giveaways and taking initiative of.
He's still mad about a TV missed out.
We can talk about that. But the idea that he does get these door prizes to be donated to the club, it's fantastic, and it brings a little life to the 50-50.
Yes, yes.
Who are the sponsors?
NWA sent a bunch of stuff by reviews,
Okay.
and
Just
Just Radios.
radios.
Radios sent one of those big capacitor kits.
Oh, that excellent. We need more of those. We certainly like those. Yeah.
And Radio Days has sent stuff down in the past.
And who gave us the nipper?
Antique Electronics in Tempe, Arizona.
Oh my, they actually gave us something, huh? Other than indigestion. Okay, good. Yes, Rick.
Right now, I think it's moving to.
Rick.
That would have hurt.
No one seems to be able to contact them.
Okay, Rick. Yeah.
How much is ads or how much is the ARC?
262 for 2.
Well, it's 131.
I think we ought to stop doing that.
We tried that
We
once.
got a lot of complaints from people.
We could try that once, Al, and we ended up with 35 tables.
You really think it's that much of a draw?
Yeah.
And we had people say, we didn't see it in the ARC.
Yeah.
Doesn't put an ad. I mean,
about one ad instead of?
I don't want to experiment with that anymore. We're in the black. I don't want to fix it if it's not broke.
We're in the black, if it's your call, then let's.
yeah, I would say let's continue.
Yeah. Now, I don't know if I've told this to the membership. I tell it to the e-board members. Every swap meet, I put in the eBay. Okay, I auction. Let me put it this way. I set up 10 tables at the bargain rate of $9.95 beginning of the auction. Okay, and I auction off the tables, the spot of the tables. Okay. Now, do I expect people to actually bid on these tables? No, I don't. And I'll be damn well pissed if anybody in this room bids on the tables, okay? All right? Right, yeah, that's why I really haven't, but I really, it's time that I do tell you about it, right? Because it was brought to my attention at the swap meeting, and that's excellent that it was, because that's the whole point. We have here, in their counter, we have a hit, we have 300 hits, okay? The 300 people viewed this and put it in their favorites and were curious about it. And maybe they showed up at the swap meet, okay? So I take pictures periodically and I put them in and I show them from last meets. And it works. As far as I'm concerned, it works. And it costs $2, you know?
Rich, I clicked on it 290 times. So really only 10 people looked at it.
I clicked on it 10 times.
Yeah, so there it goes.
So,
How'd you get to, what's the, let's say, how would you get to that?
The title?
What's the keyword?
well, I put it in under antique radios, 1920s to 1940s. That's how that category, that's what I put it in. And that seems to get the most hits.
So if you Google that, you'll get to that eBay page.
Oh, sure. Oh, yeah. Well, I put it in the week before the swap meet. Yeah, every time we have a swap meet. Yeah. And, you can read the paragraph, but it's
Net profit again?
7, what did you say?
7 something, yeah.
No, we did good.
Yeah, we did good. I'm real happy with it, real happy.
This second one?
Yeah, and another good part is that we're trying to get anchor, I'll call them anchor vendors. Mike Costi finally showed up after me badgering him, all right, and I gave him a good rate, and the next time he comes, I'm going to set up on a horseshoe that he wanted, and, you know, people love to know that he's here and that they can get their orphan knobs from him. I think that's very important. Yes?
Once came with a lifetime supply of rheostats,
Bob McTeague, yes,
Bobby T, yeah.
and he's another anchor guy. We're very happy to have him, okay?
5 tables.
Yeah.
We also had a newspaper there. Newspaper.
Yes,
the
you know, I
Gazette.
didn't bring that. It was an internet paper, but
Oh, was it?
yeah, because that's.
The Daily Record.
Oh, I guess I copied it. Oh, excellent. So they had a nice little review.
Yeah, I know.
Yes.
Thank God they didn't use flash.
Yeah, they caught my ball spot too. Yeah.
Hey, Rich, that German guy you introduced me to, he said, he took some pictures and said it's going to be in a magazine in Germany.
Yes, correct. And there was a man. All right, I don't remember his last name. Liam is his first name. A German guy named Liam. All right, I've met this guy about 10 years ago in Long Island at a swap meet, and he periodically comes to the United States. He is an Irishman who emigrated to Germany. Works in Germany. Okay. And he's a radio collector, and he's heavy into the German sets. As a matter of fact, I bought my Volkswagen off of him. And he's an interesting guy, and he runs a club in Germany. So I had met him again on Long Island, and I said I invited him to our swap meet, so he definitely came. And he said he's going to email me some photos of his club, and, you know, we'll reciprocate, of course. Nice guy, very
You
interesting
mentioned
guy.
advertising too, the cost people are talking about. I look at Craigslist a lot. Maybe they have a category to advertise there.
Oh, you know what?
That's an idea.
Yeah.
They have 4 different sections in New Jersey. They divide it into Jersey Shore, South, North, Central.
Yeah.
And then they do New York metropolitan area.
Yeah, I mean, we do it on the forums. It's
I
another
didn't
venue.
think about that. I'll do
Another
that.
venue.
Cost-free,
Yeah.
Yes, you're absolutely right.
I
Yeah.
put ads on there.
And you're the one that's looking for all
Oh,
that?
yeah, we know about those.
We got a thanks Sal for running off all those flyers, because I got rid of like 100 flyers. The flyers that prints up in color.
Oh, a fly. Well, there's a cost savings. We did. You, as our webmaster, you manipulate previous flyers to.
The Morris County Library, where we had our display, what was that, 10 or 15 years ago?
Yeah.
They were really good to hear the prominent, display of our flyers there, and they got rid of a lot of them.
Oh, good.
So, as long as we have them, we have places to do it.
All right, great. So, any other personal anecdotes about our swap meet? Oh, John, did you ever sell that Dynaco?
Was that just curious, was that the same German guy who was at the summer meeting?
No.
No, that was a German family. No, you know those Germans? They have so much money. You know they
The euros.
euros. Yeah.
I know where they got them from, I don't want to go there.
All right. Any other stories about swap meet? I want to. Oh, thanks everybody who helped, especially in the canteen. You know the guys. Where's Vinny? There you are, Vinny. Thanks so much. Everybody else that helped, really appreciate it. All right. Without your help, it doesn't happen.
We actually made a profit on that. Usually we're behind on that because we buy so much stuff.
Yeah.
But this time we came out with like $40 a head.
Oh, good. Even though I still bought too much
Yeah, we
stuff.
still bought 2 and we still made like 40. So we did our, usually we always not make money, but we have so much stuff left over that we bring it to Sarno.
Yeah.
You do a walk around auction?
Yeah.
Oh yes. Oh yes.
People stay?
Yeah, they stayed right to the end. We had a lot of people right to the end. Yeah, it was good. Everybody enjoyed themselves. Everybody. Yeah. And a lot of people I know from Long Island came. All the Hudson Valley people came. PA people came.
Get any new members?
Yes, we did.
Yes, yes. I
Yes.
think 3 people signed.
Yeah, Edith took them, right?
There were new members? Okay, so 3, yeah. I knew it was 3, but I don't know if somebody renewed or something.
Well, one guy.
You joined. You joined. We had, all
Clinton, Ohio.
Oh, okay.
right. Well, that's Lawrence Polchik. He took 5 tables too. He's another anchor.
Left Ohio at 7 o'clock the night before.
Yeah. And you might have noticed him. He was selling tubes and records. He was just as you came in.
Thousands and thousands of 45s.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, Phil went through every one of them.
And we have a gentleman. Your name?
Steve Paracchia.
Steve Paracchia. You were signed up last at the. Look at that. And here he is. Excellent. 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 Okay. Okay, all right, so next month is already December, and we have our holiday party and grab bag contest. It's Saturday, December 13th. The opening reception is at 5 p.m., okay, cocktail reception. Dinner is at 6:15, all right? Reservations, as you know, will be going out. I got some flyers. I have a flyer here myself. I have it. Here it is, Sal. I got it. Okay, we have the holiday party that Marvin very well put together for us, and also the rules for the nasty grab bag.
I got spare flyers in case someone didn't get them.
All right. They're on our website, correct, David? This is on our website?
Yes, sir.
Okay. All right. Now, Marvin, you want to say something about this?
Well, just one thing, if you get the broadcaster by email, you're gonna get these via email, all right? So, you just, if you're not bringing anybody that you have to pay for, just send it back to me, any way you want, in an envelope, email me that you're coming, whatever you wanna do, you don't even have to, but, if you're gonna bring somebody that you have to pay for, you need to send it back in an envelope with the money, okay? If you don't send the money, you don't get on the list.
Hey, Mark, people pay you directly tonight?
No,
There's nothing to pay for.
I want it in an envelope. Secondly, okay, however, if you don't get the broadcaster by email, you will get it by regular post mail, all right? Maybe sometime next week. And if you've already seen it on the on the website and you responded, if you get in the mail, don't worry about it. But every one that I get back, I will say I received your reservation. Okay, so if you don't get a confirmation from me within a couple of days, either something happened. Okay, does everybody understand that?
Yeah, because Marvin wants you to, stand up and be counted, because even the e-board members, we all have to respond so that we know how many people are coming. It pertains to our order of food.
There's 80 people maximum, so if you're gonna come and you say yes, don't say yeah, I'll say yes and not show up, because,
We actually do cut it off at 80.
yeah.
Yeah,
So-
we have to. I mean, it's so popular and it's such a bargain. We have such a good time. We have to.
Of course, right?
Alphabet.
Oh,
Not you.
you want me to do it again? Okay.
Okay.
Do you have a membership list, Mark?
Yeah.
Okay.
Now, wait a minute.
All right. Again, any questions on the holiday party and the grab bag? All right, Steve, you read about it and we'll fill you in on it. It's a lot of fun. It's a nasty grab bag. It's we had EMS there one year. There was a punch up and it was bad, but they got over it.
One way to know if your family is if you get John and Belinda Jones. I mean, that's family. If you only get John Jones, then you can sign up for a family membership. Okay? That's simple.
Okay, one more item before we get on our festivities of the DX.
Let's just talk about the holiday party. We definitely need volunteers. Now, you got a list, so let's
right.
bring that up again.
All right, let's bring it up
Clean
again. Last month, we asked for volunteers. Who are those volunteers again?
To clean up.
Okay.
Well, we need setup, but we need cleanup.
I got
Cleanup, depends whether or not I'm gonna be able to come.
You're showing up, right? Come on, you do
I don't know.
You and your wife.
I'm trying to find out if I'm a family member or not.
Your wife comes for free. Don't worry about it. She cleans up. She comes for free.
Don't start that.
No, I'm sorry.
I'll bring my whole family.
All right,
You want the names?
yes, let's have the names.
I got Doug Paray, Owen, Darren, John Tominski, well, Gary's not doing the cocktails, but, all right. You, Aaron, Neville, I think it's Steve, but I didn't get the, which
Steve Goulart.
We need to, important was setup, right?
Is that
Al?
setup or
Al.
tear down?
Well,
No, setup.
let's
Al,
get some setup, because Al's gonna need help to set up the place.
John, well, Ricola's bringing Al, we know, Owen is set up.
yeah, he's
Oh,
set up,
okay.
yeah.
Owen's set up. Dave Sicka is, cleanup.
Bring bags.
Owen just sent a note to remind you that he's on set up.
Excellent.
I'll bring bags.
Good idea. Garbage bags, the ones you get out of the school. All right.
You know what else you need is containers for leftovers.
Yes, John.
We already have
The
that.
ice man's department.
So is there anybody else for cleanup that I haven't mentioned?
Of course, I clean up, but.
Yeah, we
I
all
set
clean
my
up.
cleanup.
Yeah, we all clean up. All right,
We have to get people to set up. Cleanup is people there all the time.
yeah.
They-
Al, do you think that's sufficient? Owen, you and
Yeah, if I have, well, if there were a couple more people that came early for setup, it would be helpful, but, you know, it is. Oh, okay.
Oh,
Okay, fine.
okay, great.
As long as there's a few people there, it isn't a monster job.
Right.
You know, we got 4 or 5 people.
Okay, and Marvin will be doing the hospitality reception cocktail party.
Yeah, a little different though, you know, chopped liver, Hamantaschen.
Excellent, excellent.
Kasha Varnishkis, things like that.
Good, that's what we need. Diversity, that's what we need. Okay, one last item before we get on to this, our de-expedition. Have any of you guys done any ultralighting? Ultralighting.
Light airplanes?
None of you have done any ultralighting?
I see
They
that.
were meant to fly to wings.
Yeah, pass these down.
You got your pilot's license there?
Is this an engineering thing?
Yeah.
I don't think you need a pilot's license.
What's this? What's all this stuff?
Pass them down, pass them
This
down.
stuff?
Yeah, they're
Something
just 2 pages.
Yeah, ask John that.
Oh, that broke apart.
Oh, yeah, that's what I'm saying. This was just, okay. There you go. That's what I'm saying.
Sorry.
I got 2 copies.
This sort of ties into the de-expedition tonight. It's something I've gotten myself involved in over the years just by chance. And when I say by ultralight, I mean ultralight de-Xing phenomenon. This is an article that was taken out of Popular Communications May issue of this year. And when you obviously read through it, I find it fascinating, the idea of de-Xing with a minimal transistorized set that you can still buy right tonight in Kmart for $15, okay? I myself own a few of them, and I've owned even some of the earlier models of it, just happen to have them. And it's absolutely phenomenal what you can pick up on this, and this article will go into that. It'll also explain a website that you can go to that'll give you more information as you need it, and there's a whole strata of people that communicate with this, and they communicate and use, they're using the inductive loop antenna that Steve just picked up over there.
These are no longer in production, but you can get the equivalent.
Yeah, I have a tuna loop, and hi.
Another thing that was going on, I think it was at 221 Marconi Road.
Come on down here. Looking for Fred?
Yeah, come on back.
Oh, he'll take care of you. Okay. Now, I bring this to your attention only because I think it's very interesting, and the idea that we're de-Xing tonight. And I've used this, and it's amazing. It's absolutely amazing. A lot of fun. There was a subsequent article on this, which is kind of bizarre. But one of the models of this is, I think, the SRF 39. No, the 39P. And the 39P is clear. And the 39P is clear because it was meant to be used when you're incarcerated. It was an issued radio for right, exactly, yeah. And it turned out, like I said, a subsequent article had prisoners de-Xing from different state penitentiaries using this radio. Yes, yes. And some of them would request transfer to different, to different SQ parties. What's the home base? SQ? That they want to use a certain penitentiary for their SQ so they'd be able to DX better.
Well, we used to do
When you were incarcerated?
No, when I was in Crazy Eight, we used to do the Greystone specials. The people would bring us the, these little portable boxes, and we would cut out the record oscillator in the tape recorder.
Oh. Oh.
And then when they got incarcerated, we would put it back.
All right.
$25 a pop.
But let me just read a little bit. I'll just not to bore you with it. But just the ultralighting creed here. What is ultralight DXing? In its most basic form, ultralighting is done with a pocket radio reminiscent of the classic transistor radios from the years gone by. Consider it an upgrade from the good old days of DXing with oatmeal box crystal sets. Back to nature minimalist movement for radio hobbyists and for some simple and rekindled youth. SRF 59 AM/FM Walkman as a surprisingly good AM DX receiver. The SRF 59 is a rather unassuming analog AM/FM radio. Analog tuning can be clumsy at first until one develops a feel for the thumb wheel control. Station identification is a challenge without a digital display, but the analog control allows for precise tuning of all frequencies, including reception of transoceanic signals at 9 kilohertz intervals, unlike digital tuners that may be limited to 10 kilohertz steps. The SRF 59 DX local switch is handy for operating barefoot, which is all internal, or when coupled to a high-gain external antenna. With superb sensitivity and selectivity for a radio of its size, the SFR 59 has become the definitive ultralight. Now, tonight we will have our 50-50, all right, and Sal and I, well, Sal and I, we can do it. We'll be going around collecting, but hold on to your ticket because, all right, we have,
In lieu of the 50-50, you can take the $50 or you can take the
well, we're having both, all right? So the second drawing of your 50-50 ticket will be this FR 59, okay?
How much are they anyway?
They're $15, guys. Get them now. They're in Kmart.
Circuit City probably get a gift price.
Circuit City is more. They're more in Circuit City. And the point is they seem to disappear from Kmart. They go quickly. And then they have them for 6 months, and then they don't have them for 6 months.
Is it just an AM/FM radio, it's nothing else, or is it like
It's a special radio. I'm telling you, I have them, I use them. I got them in my pocket, I go to work with them all the time. There is a log here. Within the log, all right, the head of this website is in Oregon, and he talks about picking up Sapporo, Japan. All right?
Richard, this is just the internal antenna.
I'm not going to say that for sure. I'm not going to say that for sure. Yes. Yep. Yeah. All right. There's another fellow here from British Columbia, Turks Caicos. Okay. Here's another one. He's in Washington, South Korea. South Korea is picked up.
That's Canada. They don't transmit from Toronto. Or close by. No, honest. The Japanese,
Well, he's putting down mileage of 5,000 miles, so I'm amazed.
I'll let you know what he's smoking.
All right. Well, he's all right. Go to the website. I've gone to the website. A lot of information on the website too, and you can join their club also if you'd like. Okay.
Is that headphones only, or is that a speaker?
It's headphones only. I use earbuds. I use some Sony earbuds that come up nice. No. What's?
Did they mention anything about the Sonos?
I'm sorry, Andrew.
I was gonna say, is it a regular receiver or is it a phase lock?
Yeah.
Because if it's a phase lock loop, the sensitivity's not gonna be as good either.
They say analog. Wow.
It's analog. I don't know the circuit.
It's just an IC?
Yeah, it's an IC. Take it apart, figure it out. They're only $15. You can figure.
I actually bought one, I think
Well, Angelo, maybe you'll be the lucky winner of this one, and you can dissect this one.
Conversation, guys.
All right. All right, now look, we're going to have the 50-50. We'll take a little break, all right? And then we're going to have Al, all right? And he'll explain to you an unbelievable amount of radios that we assembled here tonight. All right, Al, you want to say something now, Al, about it?
Well, or I wasn't so sure we shouldn't just push through, do the presentation, and then the meeting goes on until it ends. And then the meeting.
Yeah. Well, I mean, do you want to explain what we have here?
No, go ahead, do it. Take the break.
Okay.
Okay.
Are we gonna do the contest winners?
The what?
Were we gonna announce the winners of the old equipment contest?
No, that'll be at the,
The contest will be, the awards will be given out at the party.
yeah.
So,
That was an event at the
prize
party.
And, you know,
It was in the broadcaster, by the way.
yeah, nobody reads it. Actually, only people that don't use cell phones.
Is that what it is? I see. Okay. All right, guys, so,
50-50 and the ultralight.
but
Two separate.
you're going to win the 50-50, and the second drawing, keep your ticket, is for the ultralight, okay?
50-50, 3 for 2. 3 for 2. 3 for 2. Thank you, just drop it in there. 50-50, 3 for 2. 3 for 2.
Here we got.
Dollar each. Oh,
Give me two,
3 tickets for $2. Give him his.
No, do you want 4? What do you want?
No,
no, $2.
$2 worth.
You think I should take 4?
Sure.
Well, buy it later on. This way,
How about 3? Give me 4. I got
Thank you, thank you.
Oh, no senior
Good?
citizen.
Okay. You all right? Ready?
There we go.
discounts.
Thank you. There we go. Step right up, folks. Step right up. Oh, we know who's going to pick the numbers here. Wait. There you go. Thank you.
Why don't we do 6 tickets?
6 tickets? $4. Aaron, too. Wow, special. He really wants a radio.
So use octals or big pins?
Just 4-pin. It's only 4-pin.
Only 4-pin too.
Is that?
I was just in Kmart today.
Oh, are you? Thank you.
I'll take a winning ticket. There's the winner.
Give this gentleman here some change. You look like the friggin' Easter bunny here. Thanks. 3 for 2.
What are you, Catholic bashing?
What are we doing here? 3 for 2, the usual. Just like the door prize. 3 for 2. Oh, wait, let me give you one of these, and then I got a Canadian.
Oh, extra, thank you. Put it right there.
Someone just paid me.
Thanks, Rick.
Okay. Thank you.
Look, just because you're a nice guy, this is 2 in a row.
I know. This is like.
Now, wait, which one do I get?
Shit.
You get the losing one.
I know. I
Take
get
that.
the defective one. Now, this is supposed to be a something special radio?
Yes, I'm telling you it
No,
is.
but I mean, it looks like a.
Yes, it's a sleeper.
Am I good here?
Yeah, you're fine.
I never know. what you-
Did you take the article? Read the article.
You drop it in. Drop it in.
Can you hop when you do that? It's inappropriate.
Thanks.
Thank you.
Hold it. Let me get my 3. I'll put $2 in there in a second.
All right, you can hold on to that and then give it to
My
Al.
3.
I left the thing on. I mean, I
Yeah.
don't know if anybody's going to.
It's all right.
Gripping TV.
Well, somebody's standing in front of the camera now.
Hey, hey Dave, you want to test out your amp or something?
What's that?
You want to test out your
Wow! Wait, whoa! Get him on camera. Get him on camera.
Sorry.
There's two. He's buying two.
It's the lure of the.
Is that $2? That's
Yes.
$2? That's actually $2. $2?
Tom, for the second time in my life.
You heard of that rap artist Tupac Shakur? This is $2, Tom.
So how come you have multiples of
Give Gary
these?
$3.
How come you have multiples?
Because I have one in my bedstand. I have one I go to work
What are
with.
your beds then? You actually listen to it at night?
Yeah.
What, you try to find other stations? You like the XC?
Oh yeah, I like the extra.
One too many. I gave you.
It's amazing. I just, read the article. It's true.
That's interesting.
And it's funny because I had one, it's a black one I had from 15, 16 years ago. I was amazed. And all of a sudden I read this article. And
Flip right
oh
up,
my God.
Flip right. John the Dollar $2.
Interesting. How it cuts down. I had it some time since I was sleeping over. So I had a little Radio Shack, a digital version of that.
Yeah.
Only has a little speaker, it's gold color. Works very well, had it for years, got a clock in it. And on FM, I was looking through the public radio, low end of the band, and I came upon what sounded like an old radio program. And I thought, well, they must be reenacting it. It was so clear, so sharp, you could hear people breathing. But it was original. It was William Conrad. They must have been digitally enhanced. They were fantastic. I listened for 2 hours.
From where?
I don't know.
Oh.
But it was coming in.
I didn't throw my money in there because I bought some.
I wonder if there's any place you can find out on the internet. Where
Oh, absolutely. Yeah.
Because they're, touchdown, so it had to be within 50 miles, I would think.
On FM.
That was great.
Somebody had He give him 8. Mr. Calandra.
Mr. Corvair.
Last call.
Last call. Let's go to them.
50-50, last call. Last call. 50-50, last call.
They're losing tickets.
50-50, last call. 50-50, last call. Last call.
It's way too big for the chassis.
$2 a month.
What, it's 3 for 2?
Yeah.
You guys are gonna suck me into this.
There you go. Last call, guys. Anybody? You got 3? 3 or 1?
You got something else then? What do you collect, Steve?
I just started.
Radio.
Actually, I have,
Radio.
what got me into it was I got an old farm radio in Pennsylvania.
Oh,
I found it
excellent,
in an antique store's all beat up, and I
Yeah.
finished it, but I haven't got it working.
Well, you bring it, even if you bring it to the, well, not the next meeting, but the January meeting, has like Marty take a look at, the little short guy. He can put these things together really quick. Give you a diagnosis. Do you know how to repair yet, or?
I have a really good background. I mean, I have background in electrical engineering.
Yeah.
In college, I didn't go into that after I got out. I've actually been in the oil industry, but I understand all the theory, and I got a couple books on it, and I'm all right with it. But I'm not, but it's different when you get into the circuit.
Well, we have
It's like
repair
you gotta
clinics.
Get used to the technical.
We have repair clinics, and you bring stuff by, and you'll learn, you'll pick up.
I got one now. I mean, Picasso for works good. It's an Emerson.
Yeah.
BF204. And it works good, but the speaker's got a tear in it. And I don't know how to really repair that.
Well, you can do it with rubber glue. You use it, and tissue paper. That's one way. And there's another way you get crazy and recone the whole thing. That's a little too much for a 4-inch speaker.
Right.
But or you take an old speaker and you cut the piece out of it and you rubber glue that in too.
Oh, that's a good idea.
Yeah.
I'm Chuck. I just joined last week.
Oh, excellent, excellent.
I
Thanks,
was
Chuck.
wondering, I got interviewed by that guy, and I was wondering if I can get a hold of that to see if the questions he asked me were in there. That page.
All right. The person to see is Dave Sika, because he had it on the our website. Dave, our webmaster.
Computer there?
Yes, yeah.
Yeah.
He'll put you in touch with it because I know it's a .com. The piece that I had, So it's definitely on the website.
The guy asked me like a million questions.
It was like Parsippany Today or something. Yeah, well,
The thing that astounded me is I was answering his questions, and I sounded like I knew what I was talking about. I was like, "Is that me?" And he was like, "Yeah, all right, I'll ask him. Thanks a lot."
Sure. Okay. Pretzels. Where'd the pretzel go? Thank you.
I don't know, they want to extend it, they're not going to.
Take command and move out. They have 707.
Mob dying.
Yeah, we heard that before.
Oh, Mob You make way. Oh, shit.
12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27.
What's that? $2. Give me change. Wait, so far here's that chain. No, I know. Just give me 18. I know. Hold on for a second. Hold on. Let me get it.
There's 27 there.
Yeah, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Right? That says 18. I don't know. 5. You want the 5?
No, that's right.
Doesn't matter. No, it's all right. Now, how much was the total? See, I screwed this up.
It was 25 and 27.
Marv just gave us 25, so 27 and 27 will work. Marv just gave us, that's 25, wait, 26, 27, right?
Yeah.
And now, it should be, no, you want 27. 10, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27. It's 27 here, right? 27.
Yep. All right,
that's
go
equal. 28, 29, 30. 28, 29, 30. 1, 1, 1, 1. 33.
33. All right, good.
Count it, just make sure.
Yeah.
That should be it.
And don't forget, I get 20 at somewhere.
Yeah,
I get 20 bucks somewhere. Seven. I got $32. Yeah. Okay, good. Is that max?
That works every time. Works every time. All right. $32 to the winner. I won. No.
Forget about that. We don't want to win second place.
Right.
Take mine.
Thank you.
706763.
All right, now we got to do louder now. Louder.
706763.
763. Hey. 763?
Thank you. Okay, now. Stay here. Stay here. Now.
Now, for the radio.
Now, for the radio.
Shake them up good. No
706-781.
No, you went the wrong way.
Score!
Oh!
Pat, I want everyone to see this. Pass it around. Pass it around, guys.
Here you are. Here you are. The rest of it, go to Kmart. $15.
How many of you won the last year?
All right, pay attention, guys. Al's going to give a spiel, guys.
Quiet.
Sit down.
I gotta stop doing that until we get this fixed. I gotta stop doing that. Oh, you take out your 20. That's left over.
Okay, why don't we find some seats? I'm gonna engage in a brief harangue here, and then we can
You want?
give him the
Oh,
microphone.
thank you. Thank you. He donated the money back to the club.
We have a new member. What's your name again? I'm sorry. Chuck. Chuck just very kindly donated his winnings from the 50-50 back to the club. That's what. Gotta be on the internet.
Sound here. Does this thing flip around? Well, yeah, but my shirt goes the other way. Hey, shirt. You wearing a lady's shirt? I mean,
Hey, whatever the thrift store sells me.
Oh. So anyway, here we are for the first NJARC DXpedition, and as most of you know, and the new guys don't, radio reception at Sarnoff is non-existent. And we go up there with radios, and a good AM set will get 1 or 2 stations in that building. And
in the same room.
well, that too. Now I don't know why this thing is flickering on me, but I wiggled the cables and that didn't seem to do it. So we may have to just live with it. So anyhow, this is supposed to. Oh, okay. A little slow. dx, that's the traditional mathematical representation for distance. To hams, dx means foreign countries, but to us, we'll just settle for far away things. A little bit about propagation in the broadcast band. In daylight, the D layer of the ionosphere soaks up all the signals, and so what you're left with is the ground wave along the surface. And you're good out to 100 miles or so if you have a good receiver in a quiet place. Like we could sort of hear Harrisburg, PA from here in the middle of the afternoon. At night, however, the D layer absorption goes away and things start bouncing off the ionosphere. And so you get some long distance stuff at night. A couple of words about the band plan. Now, I'm mostly talking about broadcast band stuff here, but we have a bunch of short wave sets here. We have an antenna that'll support that. There's a VLF set back here if you want to play with that. So we're not limited to broadcast band DX tonight. But of course, this ties in to the NJARC DX contest, which is scheduled for January, and we'll get the dates out to you. We can do that again. Anyway, the band plan. We're in something called ITU, International Telecommunications Region 2, and here the broadcast band is 540 to 1700 kilohertz, and the channel spacing is 10 kilohertz between channels. These channels are kind of divided up. There's what are called clear channels. Now, in the old days, a clear channel really was a clear channel, and there was one station on it. But now, there's probably 3 or 4 stations spread across the continent sharing a channel. But they have a fairly clear shot, and you can hear them without a whole lot of interference from other stations. And they're on these frequencies. Don't get too concerned about that. Then the rest of the frequencies are considered regional channels. So these guys are almost universally 50 kW, day and night. Okay. The regional channels, these are generally 5 to 10 kilowatt stations daytime, and who knows what happens at night. There's all this rigmarole with directive antennas and protecting this station over here from this station here, and people cut down to, 17 watts at night and things like that. And then there are what are called the local channels. You might take a listen to some of the local channels tonight because it's amazing. There's just nothing there. Like 1490, I meant to look this up, how many stations there are on 1490 within a 200-mile radius. A bunch. And these are the guys that, some of them literally go down to 10 watts at night. And so trying to DX those guys is, that's a whole life's work, and that's not what we're talking about tonight. So that's the band plan. I kind of like to think about this as layers of things you can hear. And the first ones are the strong locals. You hear them day or night. They're good to calibrate your dial and know where things are. And you know them, WOR, WABC, WFAN, all those guys. Then there's this group, and these are the guys you always hear at night, WBZ in Boston, WKBW in Buffalo. You know them, there's a bunch of them. These are all within 500 miles. Any little radio or driving around in the car at night or whatever, these are the stations you hear real easy. Some of them are real interesting. It's good to be there. And I hope that HD radio doesn't stamp this all out. But so do your DXing now before everybody has those infernal sidebands 24 hours a day. So you have those. Now, if you go a little farther out, you start getting these 700-mile away stations, and this is where you get your points in the DX contest. Chicago, Atlanta, Nashville, guys like that. Farther still, realistically, except for extreme conditions and different parts of the sunspot cycle, and like, are sunspots ever going to come back? I don't know. But under normal circumstances, 2,000 miles is about all you're going to do. Really, about 1,200 miles is all you're going to do. But unless you have that Sony. But this gets you places like Iowa, Texas, New Orleans, et cetera. I've got some stuff here we can take a look at. I have a map. We'll look at that in a different way here in a moment. Intercontinental DX. Now you hear about this. So-and-so heard Fiji on gray line propagation and things like that. Well, that's another thing that's a life's work, and there's a whole subculture of people who do things like that. And you really have to be in the right place at the right time for that to happen. I remember I mentioned ITU Region 2. In Region 1, Europe, the stations are on 9 kilohertz spacing. So they're not zero beat in many cases with our stations. And you do often hear heterodynes from these guys. One of the biggies is a station in Saudi Arabia on 1521. You'll sometimes hear a 1 kilohertz het on WKBW. I heard a heterodyne on 740, the Toronto station tonight. I don't know what that corresponds to in Europe, but you hear the heterodynes. It's real unusual that you're able to recover any audio out of any of that stuff. I think once in my life, I think I heard Ireland. Yes?
What does the heterodyne sound?
Oh, the beat notes, the whistle.
Is that our local station?
Yeah. Now see, if you have 2 of our local stations on the same frequency, they're dead on the frequency. They're zero beat, so you don't hear a heterodyne. Really zero. Very, very close, within a couple of cycles. Right. Okay, but now if you're listening to 520, they've got this big carrier at 520 and sidebands on both sides for about 5 kilohertz. And here's this other carrier from Saudi Arabia at 1521, and that gets you a 1 kilohertz tone right in your audio. It's prominent, you'll hear it.
You may even hear some tonight. I haven't been listening a lot. But lots of hets, okay. And that's generally what they are. When you hear a pure tone, it's usually a heterodyne from another station, and it's on the AM band. It's another station on the other half of the planet somewhere.
You can play with your directionality too.
You can, but I'm telling you that digging audio out of any of this stuff is a real tough deal. If you do it, let us all know so we can tune the rest of the radios there and see. But I'd be real surprised. Here's a little look at what I was talking about there. Here we are at InfoAge. These circles are 500-mile intervals, and this first one I didn't bother populating that with anything. There's all kinds of stuff in there you're going to hear. That Chicago's 700 miles out, Atlanta and Nashville down here, KMOX in St. Louis is a little farther out. I think it's 800 and some miles. WHO and KXEL up in Des Moines and what, Cedar Rapids is the other one. They're good point generators. Okay, yeah, but yeah. So you have this layer, and then it starts getting tough out here. But WWL in New Orleans is real easy. That's a good one. They're reliable, and 870. Now I'll have frequency lists and things for you here too, so you don't have to.
What is in wattage?
Oh, they're 50 kilowatts. They're 50 kilowatts, and well, I'll talk about this a little further here. Some people have reported hearing WBAP in Dallas. There's another station, I put it on the list I'm going to hand out to you in, don't remember if it was Austin or where, on 1200. Somebody showed them to me in the middle of the night at the Ham Fest at Timonium last year. But anyway, KOA in Denver is a really good catch if you can do it at 1,600 miles. There's about 3 stations on that frequency, and you got to wait until everybody fades in and out. But it's possible to hear Denver. We had somebody in the DX contest last year report hearing Mexico City on 900. Never done that. Now the ones you can do. There's various Cubans, and the easiest one is what's called radio Raylo. Raylo means clock. I don't know why they do this, but they broadcast clock ticks on these AM stations, and coming up with a beep on the minute, and at about 3 seconds, they send RR in Morse. Did-it. And so, like, you listen to WMCA on 570 and point your antenna down to the Caribbean, and on a good night, and well, you take your atomic watch so you know when the minute is. Good night, you'll hear clear as day, you'll hear did-it. You've heard Cuba. There's other Cuban stations. I've got some information. If somebody gets into, if we think we can hear Cuba and somebody speaks some Spanish, I've got some information on Cuban stations. They're tough. They don't ID. You say, oh, I'll catch them on the hour. Well, they just rattle right on through. Nothing happens. Your best bet is if you can identify the networks they're on. You can find 2 stations that are in parallel on 2 frequencies, and then you're pretty sure you've heard them. So those guys. Great one is Radio Vision Christiana in Turks and Caicos. Now, there's these strange countries down the Caribbean. Turks and Caicos apparently is still associated with Great Britain somehow or other, but I think they thumb their nose at the ITU because 530 isn't a legitimate broadcast frequency. But they're strong. They're kind of in the clear. There's nothing there except information stations, and I've heard them on a crystal set. And so the guys that heard Radio Vision RVC in British Columbia, yeah, I believe that. Yeah, they're strong. I think they might be 100 kilowatts, and they're totally in the clear. Only problem is a lot of radios won't tune down to 530. Sir.
Question: if you have a loop antenna, does it matter which way you're pointing?
We'll talk about that in a minute. Another one I discovered recently, and like I say, this is an independent country, the Federation of St. Kitts and Nevis. They've got a station down there called ZIZ, English from the Caribbean, on 515. I'm sorry, 555. But it's neither a U.S. or a European frequency. They picked it for whatever reason, their own things. And I heard them the other night from Jersey City. I didn't get an ID on them, but I'm pretty sure it was them. Yes.
Well, maybe a little off topic. What do you do with if you get a electronically tuned radio and you travel to St. Kitts and you're trying to tune 555?
Well, I think you're out of luck. I think you just come close.
Some of them are switchable.
Yeah. Well, you go to if you put the radio into the 9 kilohertz thing, maybe there's one that's closer than 5.
They must have to make special radios.
I don't know. I don't understand what this St. Kitts thing is all about. But there they are. For a while, when I became aware of them a couple of years ago, they go to BBC News at 11 o'clock at night, and that's how I ID'd them one night during the contest. Pardon me? Sort of reggae music and stuff, and there's some talk in English.
How big is that island? It's like the size of like.
Oh, it's like, you know, it's the size of the base here or something. You know, I don't know. It's not very big. It's like a 20 by 30 mile island or something like that.
Chief of police from Nevis. So as
Yeah.
an electrician, he was up working as an electrician in New York City. So.
Nevis is like one ash cone.
Yeah.
It's one volcano. Okay. Another one of my favorites is YVKS down in Caracas. We'll talk about that a little bit here in a minute, too. That's 2,000 miles. Okay. What I'd like to encourage you to do, and I've got some logs and some frequency lists and things, is sit down to the radio you want to find out about. And sort of the intent tonight was, I understand some of you people have radios you really haven't listened to a lot, and you're going to listen to them. But I'd like to invite you to go around, find a radio, and sit down at it for 5 or 10 or 15 minutes and figure out what it's all about. And we'll have some log sheets, so if log the good stuff you hear. And also the logging helps the next person that sits down at the radio find his way around. But I'd like to suggest that if you're going to DX, kind of the way to do it is do a band scan. And I did this list, which I'll hand out. And this is most all the stations we're talking about here. I have a difficulty factor here, like, of course, the locals, which are going to help you find your way around, are 1. Just the interesting ones are 2, and 3 are the far away ones. But you can just start at one end of the band and tune up, I hear them, etc. Have some notes on here, like 570 is a good place for radio Raylo, but the frequency list I'll give you they're on about 8 or 9 frequencies. In fact, that's why the DX contest, you can only count it once, because there were years when they were all over the band, and so you have a DX entry. For anybody who hasn't run the DX contest, the way we set it up was you do it in a 24-hour contest period, so you don't have to stay up all night for a week trying to win this thing. And all you're doing is entering your 10 best catches, so it's not a matter of trying to log 37 graveyard stations or something. Find 10 big good ones and send it in. Well, there were years when propagation from Cuba was great, and you could log 4 or 5 radio Raylos at 1,200 miles a shot. And that's pretty good, but it's kind of uninteresting. So we count them as 1 now.
Now, I noticed you got up to 900. No, the high frequency, there's any station?
Well, this thing here, I ran out of screen.
Okay.
This is just a piece of it. You're going to find that once you get to 1,200, that now you're getting into the regional stations and the graveyard stations, and I didn't emphasize those very heavily because that's a real effort to sort that out. But you'll get, they get thinned out as you go up in frequency, and then there's stations again at 1,500 or whatnot. Also, for the DX contest, we don't count the expansion band stations from above 1,600 because most of the old radios don't tune there. Was there a question?
Yeah,
Any tips on getting over the Rockies? Because I try to do that every year.
That's a chore. I've never done that.
I've never been able to do that.
I think that's
That's a winner. You can get over it.
right. Yeah, if you could log Los Angeles or something.
Very tall antenna.
Yeah, it's a difficult deal. But what I can tell you is I was associated with a Yahoo club in the old days when they were clubs instead of groups called the Ferrite Corps, which was crystal set guys. And they ran a DX contest. And one of the guys who was good ended up retiring to Hawaii. Okay, and that kind of killed the contest because Mike could hear the Caribbean from Hawaii on a crystal set. Okay, so if you're out where it's quiet, you can do stuff like that. But like doing the West Coast, you're trying to hear through. Like I always thought, gee, we ought to be able to hear Salt Lake City. Right. But
Try for that every year.
there's just stuff all there's stuff all over it. Maybe someday you get lucky, but I've never done it. So kind of do a scan down the band, figure out how the radio works, see what you can hear. I think you'll be surprised by what you can hear. We'll put out log sheets with each radio. So like I say, kind of log some of the stuff you hear so we know what happened. And so the next guy that sits down at the radio kind of has some ideas what's going on. Let's look at this log. Here, Joe Doak sat down 8:32. Yeah, he found WCBS on 880. And he dropped down in frequency 2 minutes later to 860. Heard the French from Toronto. I didn't put the call in there. What is it? Pardon me? CJBC. Anyway, and the way this works, and so now Tom comes along and he sits down here and he looks at this log and oh yeah, we have this thing here, this concept of logging scales and things. There's some old radios out here that just have 0 to 100 scales. So, fill that if it's a regular dial and it's off a little bit. Like this guy, like Joe noted that WCBS showed up at 880 plus 10. You'll write that down. Now, Tom comes along, he looks at this, he goes find 880, he drops down halfway, and sure enough, he hears WWL in New Orleans, 1,200 miles out. So, yeah, see if you can log a little bit. It might help the next guy that sits down at the radio. Just have fun with this, okay? But we'll have the log sheets out and stuff so you can do that. Okay, antennas. Over this building, we have a 100-foot V doublet, which feeds a distribution amp, and that's what all these coax cables are that come out here. That'll get you a pretty good signal, like from maybe 100 kilohertz on up to 30 megahertz, and do reasonably well on the broadcast band. Down in that corner, there's 2 pieces of commo wire that come in through the window, which are random wire antennas for crystal sets and things. Like a crystal set really needs to load the antenna to get a good signal off it. It'll work on the end of the coax, but it'll be much happier if it has an antenna all its own and it can load it up. Rob Flory, do you all know Rob? Stick up your hand, Rob. Where is he? Hello, Rob. Hello, Rob. There he is. Rob put up a vertical in front of the building, one in back of the building. He's got a Navy RBB out here, which is a hell of a radio. And he's got a phasing box, so he can take the signals from the 2 antennas and null out any particular signal. We'll see how well Rob hears with this setup. So you got the phased verticals. Tuned loops. There's about 3 or 4 loose ones floating around here. They're on some sets. We can move them to other sets. And of course, you guys with portables already have loops in the sets. I'll talk about that a little more. There's an on-tuned loop out here for VLF that's hooked up to that Watkins Johnson back there with the Nixie tubes on it. And, we'll put the laptop on that after a while and use the spectrum analyzer on it to see what
what the MSK noise that they broadcast to submarines looks like. Things are a little weird down there. Okay. Okay, so that V doublet with the distribution amp, this antenna was one that was designed by General Electric in 1936. All the big companies had broadband antennas at the height of the shortwave craze, because a random wire is going to make their expensive shortwave set not work as well as it could. And besides, there was another 10 or 15 bucks they could make by selling an antenna, plus the money that the service guy made installing the thing. So there were some really interesting antenna designs at that time. This is one that I reverse engineered and was trying to sell some years ago. But anyhow, the market ain't big enough, and you can't take enough profit out of it. Otherwise, it gets too expensive. Nobody wants it, you know. And you know, they'd have to be $100. And even then, if your distribution is taking too much money out of it, then it gets real iffy. If the market were big enough, you'd go have them made in China, and then it'd be a different deal. But it doesn't work that way. Anyhow, I'll show you a picture of this thing. It's a balanced antenna above 2.7 megahertz, and then we're feeding that to a military distribution amp, which has 32 outputs, so everybody gets a clean signal down each one of these cables. And there's splitters at the end of the cables, so you won't be bothered by the other guy sharing the cable too much. This is the drawings out of Writer's Volume 6. And the original antenna was 50 feet long, and the one that's up here is 100 feet long. But anyhow, you have this antenna. There's insulators here and here. You have this V section in it here, which kind of helps broadband matching out of the thing. In the case of the original, there was twisted pair line down from there, and a magic box on the back of the back of the set that makes it treat the antenna as a doublet at short wave frequencies, but the radio sees just a straight wire, as if these two wires are shorted together, sees a vertical antenna below the frequency, below the half wave frequency here, where the output of the thing falls off drastically. Here's the secret guts of this thing. It's easier to understand if you look out from the receiver end here. This circuit right here with the two caps and the two coils is a what is it? Like in a hi-fi speaker where you have your woofer and your tweeter, and a crossover network. Thank you, folks. Aging sucks. Anyway, looking from the receiver at high frequencies, you go right through a cap. You're not going to go through there. Transformer, which is taking the balanced output of the antenna into the transformer. You see the balanced output down this way at those frequencies. At low frequencies, you're looking in here. You're not going to bother with the cap. We'll go through the coil. That's easy. You come in here to a 9-to-1 transformer, and that's fed off the center tap here. So it's looking at both of these wires together. And so it's a vertical antenna through there and up.
Is this on your website now?
No, that one's not. I've been keeping that secret because I may get really broke and have to go back to building these again. But if somebody gets interested, I'll help you build the crossover box for it. It's not difficult. In fact, there's the values for whether it's a 50-foot antenna or a 100-foot antenna.
It was like a few years ago you had you did a talk about this type of antenna.
Yeah. When I did.
Little beads and everything.
Yeah. That was the whole thing. In fact, yeah. Anyway, I'll get back. We were talking. One of the things we talked about in the board meeting was the fact that it always has been a tradition in this club to bring stuff to sell to the regular monthly meetings, and we've kind of fallen away from that. And one of the things I'll bring is I'll bring a valise or something with transformer parts and crystal set parts and things like that, and kind of, they'll be there when the spirit moves you.
The random wire is just 50 or 60 feet of combo wire thrown up in the trees here. We did that for the crystal set seminar. Tuned loops. Tuned loops are good. There's a reason that at the end of the 1930s they gave up on wire antennas in AM radios and put loops inside. They're superior. Okay, it's a really good way to do it. You can add a tuned loop to your 1930s set or your communication receiver or whatever. It's not hard to do. You do end up with an extra knob because you need to tune the thing, so it's now a two-hand deal. Only works for sensitive receivers because you've only got, you know, this much capture area to go. Up in Jersey City, I can't hear anything. I have a 20-foot whip on the roof with coax coming down and all of that stuff. On the broadcast band, I can't hear anything between the big gun stations. I mean, on an R390, I can't hear anything. Okay, there's heterodynes, there's intermod stuff, there's just crap. You can't hear. I mean, like, you can almost hear CHML on 900 at night, almost. But a loop, you get it in a window, you get it near the side of the house where you're out from under the pipes and the wires. It's good. I listened to Caracas, Venezuela from Jersey City the other night. Okay, so you think you're in a place where you can't do radio, take your transistor set at night, walk around the house, figure out where there's a quiet spot. Sit down in the window up in the second floor, like on the south and west side of the house, which is in the DX direction, and you'll be able to enjoy radio. And like I say, you can build yourself a loop. I think you saw the It's So Easy a Caveman Could Do It loop I did a couple of years ago. You can do that. And there's a couple of those around here tonight you can play with and get a feeling for it. Small and easy to make. They do DX tricks. Here's what you got. You got this loop of wire, and the magnetic field associated with that loop comes this way, and that's where the response of the antenna is. Everything's balanced along this axis, so you've got a deep null in that direction. So you take your loop, you tune to WSB in Atlanta, which is pretty easy on 750, turn the loop 90 degrees, null these guys out so the signal goes away. Here's some Spanish down there. Listen for a while. These guys actually ID every once in a while. They call themselves it's like the Department of Redundancy Department. They're Radio Caracas Radio, as opposed to Radio Caracas TV. And they, ere say ere, RCR, that's how they ID. And sure enough, you listen to these guys for a while, and there'll be a soccer game or something go on, then they'll go to an, they'll go to an ID. Ere say ere. And so, loop, you can make an air core loop, or you can take a ferrite rod and make a loop, and you can do this stuff. It's easy. Some of the resources we have here tonight, I've got a target list. We've got some copies we'll float around. On my laptop and Harry's laptop, there's a piece of freeware called Where's That Station? It's a little clumsy, but it's got a thorough database associated with it. You can enter a call sign. It'll tell you who it is, where it is, how far it is, what the bearing is. It will do things like it will search the database on WS ***. Because when you're DXing, a lot of times you'll hear a station, is that a C, a D, or an E, they're saying. And you can do a wildcard match and find these guys. I've got some paper copies of primetime shortwave, which lists English station. This particular piece of paper lists English stations broadcasting in North America. There are still some in among the local religious guys. You can still hear Voice of Russia and Radio Netherlands and things like that. So we've got that list. You can do that. Backed by the VLF receiver, there's a non-directional beacon frequency list. That'll apply to that radio and Rob's RBB in here and anything that tunes down below the broadcast band. You might want to listen around and see see which beacons you can hear. The ID, they're very boring. They ID 3 letters in Morse over and over and over again, and you can manage to write the dots and dashes out and decode them and figure out who they are. And there's a list of the entire thing back there. So this is a radio play group here tonight. So just have a good time, play with the radios, and
You want to mention,
we'll go from there.
about the pajama party too?
Oh, okay. There are bunks and cots and a bathroom and heat in cottage 1, which is the right-hand one across the road. We'll have that open. You're welcome to stay over. Like I say, you need your own sleeping bag, but so you can stay as long as you want. You can crash if you want. Rob, are you gonna get on the net at 5 a.m.? Yeah. The old military radio net runs their AM net at 5 a.m. on Saturday mornings. And Rob's going to see if he can check in from the Navy radio in his Subaru. So we may get up and help him do that. So, okay, just do whatever looks good to you and have fun.
You want to thank Al and the rest of the fellows that put this all together. It's a lot of work here, guys, a lot of work. And as usual, Al, Ray, Rob, Corey, Harry, Steve, they spend their time and put it all together. You got to be very thankful that we have members like this in our club.
Well, let me come and solve these antenna issues. Pardon me? Well, we don't have enough. We don't have enough positions, but you know.
I don't know. I'm gonna wander around and see who's got what. Thank you, sir. Oh my goodness, you actually have brain cells now. We had our probably broke our record. We had about 18 at one point, which was not too bad. And we had 14 that hung into the end. We're just talking. Yeah, and actually, yeah, we're here. If you, I saved the. So this is. I like this part here. Wait a minute, I didn't save it. I like this part here where it says. Now, if only it sends me all the bills.
Long Island friend, Jerry Galata.
I don't know. We had John Dilks hung in until just a couple minutes ago. Owen was on.
Jerry's got a call sign. I'm not sure what it is.
You know, there was a guy from Kentucky, a guy from Connecticut. Bob B, KC2RDU, WA1KPD.
But I don't know the mate. It looks like it has ultralights.
They thought you were talking about airplanes. I'll save this. Well, this is cute. I mean, it's, somebody suggested we send it out over the AWA reflector, and I think we picked up a bunch of. There was a lot of calls.